What if I told you I could save you $10 a pound on turkey lunch meat? Do you know what else I could get for $14.99 a pound? I can get these strip steaks, this T-bone, snow crab legs, or I can get anything from this seafood display. All these things are $14.99 or less per pound. Lunch meat is expensive. When it comes to my kids making their own turkey sandwiches for lunches for school, it looks a little like this. Wow, that is an expensive sandwich. On this channel, we cut meat, we cook meat, we eat meat. And today I'm gonna show you 3 ways that you can get turkey lunch meat. The first is gonna be going to the store and buying pre-sliced lunch meat. And that is gonna be the most expensive. Then I'm gonna show you how to take a whole pre-roasted turkey breast and we're gonna slice it at home. And that's gonna be less expensive. And then I'm gonna show you another way to do it. We're gonna take a raw turkey breast, we're gonna brine it, season it, cook it, and slice it all at home to then see which one of these methods is the best. Stay tuned to the end of the video because we're gonna compare price to effort to the flavor. We're gonna take all these things into account and see which one is the best for your family. Let's talk about deli lunch meat. This is $14.99 a pound. Like I said before, it's the most expensive option we're gonna show today about how to get turkey lunch meat. I don't know about you, but when I go to the deli, I am a thin sliced lunch meat person. I like it nice and thin. The problem is when you go up there and you say, hey, I would like some turkey, and they go,
okay, like how thin do you want it or how thick do you want it?
And I'm like, well, I like thin deli meat. And they look at me like they wished I would just go home and walk off a cliff and never come back because all this, I gotta take all this extra time and effort to get it nice and thin. That's why I really like to slice my own turkey lunch meat. Are you a thin sliced turkey person or are you a thick sliced turkey person? I'm on team thin slice, which angers all deli lunch meat slicers across the country. Let's head to the next option where we're gonna slice our own. So next we're gonna talk about slicing your own lunch meat from something you can buy whole from the store. So this is from Costco, of course. It is a oven brown turkey breast, no antibiotics ever is what it says. It is 4.41 pounds and it is $4.79 a pound. So again, at $4.79 a pound, we already have a tremendous value from the pre-sliced one that was $14.99 a pound. To buy this and use it and slice it, we're gonna have to get a slicer. Now, I know what you're saying.
Oh no, and I gotta buy an extra piece of equipment.
In future videos that are coming up, I'm gonna show you how to make other lunch meats. We're gonna talk about corned beef. We're gonna talk about roast beef and all other meat preparations that you can slice thin and need a meat slicer for. Stay tuned to future videos. We are going to make sure that you get use out of this slicer that you buy. Again, the link is in the description as always. Now let's talk about the homemade version. The first thing we need to do is get this thing on the package, take a look at it, and I'm gonna show you how to truss it. Now a truss is basically how I've done here where you've wrapped it up in twine so that it really compacts all the meat together so it cooks in one uniform block. I'm gonna show you now how we do this. When you take your turkey breast out of the package, if it comes in a nice little handy net like this, we are ahead of the game. This is awesome. Conversely, this is one where I took the netting off. Now look at this turkey breast. I mean, it is everywhere. It is splayed out, and that's just the anatomy of the turkey, okay? So what we need to do, if you have something like this that does not have a nice tight netting, I'm going to show you how to butcher's tie it. So it goes from this to a nice compact package. So to a butcher's tie, we're basically just going to mold this into a little block as much as we can. You're going to take your twine, okay? You're going to go underneath about 1 inch or so in. You're going to take 2 fingers, you're going to wrap it around twice, come back through the hole and pick up the extra piece right there and pull. Then you're just going to make a little knot right here. Take your knife, cut both strings, tighten it up, bring the top down, really cinch it up so it's nice and tight because we need to make this into one solid piece. Pull the piece right here. Now this one's going to be a little different, so we're still going to tie this off like that. just like we did before. But now we're not going to cut this piece right away. We're going to take this long piece of twine we have now and feed it through our tied areas. Pull it through. Do the other one. Pull it through. When we come to the end, we're going to wrap it all the way around and then feed it through the other side. Comes all the way around back to the top. We're going to take this end from the string from that last knot we tied, and we're going to make this come right around to the front and tie it right here. Double knot. And cinch it all up. So this makes now, this is a nice and tight turkey breast. So we took something that was kind of all flopping around and then made it into something that is super tight. So now we're going to talk about the homemade version. Each one of the pre-sliced and the one that we bought from Costco that has not been pre-sliced, both had an added brine injected into it. Whether they've been submerged in a brine or whether they've been injected, I want to make a fair comparison. So I put this turkey breast into a brine. Now, what is a brine? A brine is just a mixture of salt and water. And what happens is you put the piece of meat in that salted water and it soaks in to the inside and then makes it more flavorful and more juicy and gives us a little bit of insurance when we're roasting it. I want to show you next how I put my brine together. In this brine, I put 2 quarts of water. I put 2 quarts of chicken broth and a half a cup of salt. I mix it all together, put it on the heat to boil just to dissolve the salt. After the salt dissolves, I will add ice to it, cool it down, and then once the brine is cold, you can put your turkey inside the brine. You then want to brine it between 4 and 6 hours. For a small turkey breast, these turkey breasts are about 2.5 pounds. After the 4 to 6 hours, you pull it out of the brine and then we're gonna pat it dry. After you pat it dry, you're gonna put it in a 400-degree oven for about 45 minutes or until the internal temperature is at 155 degrees. Now, you need to cook all poultry to an internal temperature of 165 degrees. That is the food safety standard. You do not want to pull your turkey out of the oven at 165 degrees. You want to pull it out at 155 degrees.
Now, why is that?
That is because when you pull it out of the oven, it is still cooking. There is still heat inside that has to escape. Therefore, it continues to cook the turkey as it cools. So you want to pull it out at 155 degrees so that you can have what's called carryover cooking and get to that 165. After it cools to room temperature, you're going to put it in the refrigerator overnight. That thing, before we slice it, needs to be super cold so that it doesn't shred up. Stick with me. We're going to slice it up and we're going to taste test next. So let's go. Let's talk a little bit about slicer safety. I get freaked out anytime you take a sharp blade and add a motor to it. So these are two things which are very, very serious and you have to respect them. So when you are cleaning this thing, do not have it plugged in. Make sure you unplug it before you clean it. That's the biggest thing. Anytime you're not slicing, unplug it. If you're slicing, you're going to slice all this meat and then you get a phone call, or you got to go check the mail, or someone's come to the front door for a package, unplug it. That way there's no way someone else can come by and hurt themselves. Again, just a few tips about slicer safety. So this has a adjustable width and we're going to make it as thin as we can. We're going to make a thin slice today for our turkey. Let's get to slicing. When you are slicing and the machine is on, you're going to put down with your right hand, you're going to put some pressure down so it goes against this board, so it goes against this plate, and then slide it nice and easy so you get these nice thin slices. So now we have our homemade turkey breast. It has been brined, seasoned, roasted, cooled, and now it's ready to be sliced. So let's check it out. All right, so here's our experiment. We're all finished. So to recap, this was the turkey that I bought from the deli, $14.99 a pound. This one is the one where I bought a whole piece from Costco and it was ready to be sliced, and we sliced it on the slicer. This one was $4.79 a pound. And then this is the one we did the entire process to. We brined it, we roasted it, and we cooled it, and we sliced it at home. And that, when you bought the turkey breast itself, it was $5.79 per pound. So now we're gonna go through and I'm gonna taste them, and we're gonna talk about the differences between all three and if it's worth it to put all the time and effort, because this one was definitely the most time and effort. This was a medium effort because we had to pull out the slicer, slice it up, clean the slicer, which is not fun, but we did it anyway. And then the super convenient, go pick it up from the store at the deli. So let's go ahead and do our most expensive one first, $14.99. More than twice expensive as all the rest of them we have here. Again, deli turkey is deli turkey. It has good flavor. It's consistent. As you can see, I asked for a thin slice and got a pretty thick slice. All right, so this one is the one that's been cooked already from Costco. We sliced it. The flavor is really good. I like the texture of this one more than even the deli sliced turkey. It has a softer texture, more moist. It's really good. Now we're gonna go to the one we did ourselves. This one has a better flavor than the rest of them. The brine really got in there and seasoned it really, really well. This would elevate any sandwich that you are going to do. The downside is it took a lot of time. We're talking a 2-day process to get this thing all the way to this sliced state. When we're talking about these two right here, I would say if you're into convenience and you don't have the extra time, that this is better. I love this flavor, and I would continue to do this. It takes a little bit extra time, but again, you can do it in bulk. You can then put them in Ziploc bags. You can freeze it. You do it once a month or whatever, and you'd have turkey lunch meat for the entire month. I'm gonna plant my flag into the more labor-intensive one as the best. I'm gonna continue to do this for my family, but again, we're gonna do it in bulk. There's still more. If you like this video, check out the next video. I'm gonna put it up here, and we'll see you on the next one.